Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Happya Life podcast. I'm your host, Clare Deacon. After deciding survival wasn't enough, I set out on a path to live my best life. I wanted to thrive. Now I'm on a mission to support others. Think you're not good enough, confident enough, brave enough? I'm here to tell you you are, and you can achieve anything. This is your time, so let's do this. Hello and welcome back to the Happya Life podcast. I'm Clare Deacon, a positive psychology coach, trauma-informed therapist, nervous system educator, and the founder of Happya. And I'm so glad you're here, whether you're listening while you're folding laundry, driving to work, walking the dog, or hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes of peace. You made it and you've carved out this space. And that alone matters. Today's episode, it's one I've been waiting a long time to do because it's about something that rarely gets named but is constantly felt. Something I know with every fibre of my being is keeping so many women stuck, drained and disconnected. We're talking about all of that invisible load. So the mental, the emotional and the energetic burden that you carry silently, relentlessly, and that no one else really sees, but you feel it. You feel it in your bones, in your jaw, in your chest. It's there in your sleep or the lack of it, in the way you react to something tiny and then wonder why you're like that. You might not have had a name for it until now, but you've felt it. You know what I'm talking about. It's waking up already tired with your brain running at 100 miles per hour before your feet have even touched the floor. It's juggling the mental calendar of who needs what, when and how, and remembering it all whilst also trying to appear calm, composed and capable. It's not the traumatic events, it's the daily micro stresses, the relentlessness, the emotional multitasking, the 100 unacknowledged decisions you make just to keep things functioning. Maybe you're the one who remembers the birthday cards, the school dress up days, the fact that your friend has a job interview on Thursday. You're the one who sees when your partner is quiet and adjusts your tone to avoid tension. You track everyone's needs, their energy, their moods, and you shape yourself accordingly. You carry it all, quietly, competently, invisibly. And no one notices, not really, because you're so damn good at it. So let's just get honest about it, shall we? You're doing everything. The managing, the planning, the remembering, the fixing. You're holding space for everyone else's moods. You're anticipating needs before they're even spoken. You're smoothing conflict, sending the birthday cards, checking in on your friends, following up on that school email, mentally tracking a dozen different conversations, whilst also trying to work, parent, and maybe even heal yourself. And none of that shows up on your calendar. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but on the inside, it's chaos. It's the browser with 175 tabs open, and your system is lagging. Maybe you've said it to yourself recently. I'm exhausted. I haven't even done anything. Well, that's Not true, is it? You've been running internal marathons. You've been emotionally regulating a household. You've been multitasking in ways that no human being was ever meant to sustain. And then you feel guilty about not doing more, for not feeling grateful, for not being more productive and efficient. Here's what I want you to hear today, clearly, deeply, and maybe for the first time. That exhaustion is not laziness. That forgetfulness, that irritability, that fog, that executive dysfunction, that's your prefrontal cortex saying, I've reached capacity. That's your nervous system sending up flares. Because what you're doing every day, all day, is a combination of mental load and emotional labour. And it's relentless, especially for women, especially for those of us who've lived in survival mode, especially for those who've learned early on that love and safety were tied to being useful, being needed, being good. And here's the hard truth. You weren't actually born like this. You were trained. Maybe as a child, you figured out that being helpful, capable, agreeable, that's what kept you safe. That's what gave you love, or for some of you, maybe less harm. So you became the one who never needed too much, the one who made everything okay, the one who could carry it all. You didn't choose that role. Your nervous system did. It chose it for you brilliantly so that you could survive. But we're not here for survival. And now, that survival mode, it's a role that can be breaking you. Because it isn't just a bad week, it's a state your body has learned to live in. And it shows up in all sorts of ways. So, in the way that you can wake up already tired, your mind races before your feet even hit the floor. You forget to eat. You zone out mid conversation. You scroll late at night, even though your eyes are burning for you to go to sleep. You say yes when you're screaming no. You push through when every part of you is begging to rest. And maybe you've thought, this is just who I am. But it's not. That's not your personality. That's protection. That's a nervous system doing what it was trained to do. You're not weak. You're wired. And no, that doesn't mean you're stuck here. It means there's a way out. A gentle, powerful, science-backed way to rewire. But before we jump into fixing, I want us to slow down. I want us to name what's actually happening, because here's what the science tells us. Your brain, your body, carrying more than they're built for. When you're constantly in fight or flight, your system is flooded with cortisol. And when that goes on for too long without recovery, your body starts shutting things down in order to protect you. It will shut down your memory, your joy, your motivation, your ability to feel pleasure. This is real. This is chemical. This is physical. You're not imagining it. Add to that emotional labour, constant managing of how everyone else feels. It's no wonder you feel depleted. You're the one who softens her truth so others aren't uncomfortable. You're the one who absorbs the tension in a room and adjusts yourself to keep the peace. You've become fluent in self-abandonment. And here's the terrifying part. You might not even know your needs anymore. You might have lost really who you are. That's because when you override all of your internal signals for long enough, you lose that awareness. That's your body's ability to sense hunger, thirst, sadness, anger, even joy. It goes offline. So when I say you've been running on empty, I don't mean metaphorically. I mean your brain literally stopped noticing what you needed. And that's why even rest doesn't feel restful. That's why even when things are fine, you still feel off. So right now, if it's safe for you to do so, I want you to pause with me. I want you to gently close your eyes or soften your gaze and place one hand on your chest and one on your tummy. And take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, inhale and exhale. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Loosen your grip on whatever you've been holding, emotionally or physically. Notice your body. Not to change it, but just witness it. To be with it. To say, I'm here now. I am safe. And I am allowed to pause. So one more breath in and out. That's it. So that was just a moment where your nervous system gets a reset. It's coming home to yourself. You don't need to do more to earn it. You just did it. So what do we do with this? How do we begin to put the load down? Start by noticing, first of all, not doing more, not fixing, just noticing. Next time you say yes, pause. Was that yes from love or from fear? And next time you feel resentment start to build in you, ask yourself, what boundary didn't I honour? Next time you catch yourself saying, I'm fine, ask your body if that's actually true. This is where it begins, with awareness, with tiny shifts, with compassion. Because you don't need or deserve more shame. You need a different story. You need new neural pathways, and you can build them. That's neuroplasticity. That's the beauty of our brains. They can learn safety. They can unlearn survival. Every time you choose to pause instead of push, you're creating a new circuit. You're interrupting a pattern that you have been stuck in. Every time you rest on purpose, every time you say no and survive that discomfort, every time you set about journaling instead of scrolling, breathe instead of reacting, that's the work, that's the repair. And yes, it will feel clunky and uncomfortable at first. It's like wearing someone else's shoes. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's new. So I want to give you a little invitation today. Just one thing, one moment of noticing, one conscious breath, one gentle no, one decision to put one part of the invisible load down. Maybe it's the pressure to be perfect. Maybe it's the guilt that keeps saying yes. It keeps forcing you to take on more. Maybe it's the belief that your worth is tied to how much you produce. You don't have to carry it all. You were never meant to. You are not a container for other people's emotions. You're not a machine. You're not a martyr. You are a human being. You are worthy of space, of care, of breath, of joy. Not someday, not when you've earned it, now. And if that still feels hard to believe, it's okay. It's just old wiring talking. You're safe enough now to rewire it, to choose differently. And I want you to know, you don't have to do that alone. That's what this podcast is here for. That's what Happya is here for. This is your place to come home to yourself. So let this be your permission to rest, to feel, to take up space, to choose you. And I know it's not that easy. You've perhaps promised yourself before. You've said, I'll rest more. I'll speak up. I'll do it differently next time. And then the old patterns pulled you back in. That's okay. Next week, we're going to talk about that. The next episode is all about trusting yourself again, even after you've broken your own promises, because that's the next layer. Rebuilding self-trust, reclaiming your inner authority, learning to believe yourself again. But for now, just let this land. You don't have to carry it all. You're allowed to be supported. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to stop. Not because you've earned it, but because you exist. So thank you for being here and for listening. If this episode moves something in you, share it with someone who needs it. Leave a review, subscribe so you don't miss out on any episodes. And if you're ready for more support, come join me inside Blooming Happya, where we don't just talk about healing, we live it gently, powerfully together. Until next time, take care of you. If you've enjoyed this episode, ensure you hit subscribe, head on over to my website, happyacoach.com, sign up for the weekly newsletter, and let me support you in living a happier life. I'm your host, Clare Deacon. Thank you for listening. Have a fabulous day.